So hello, this is Jens from Edguy speaking here in beautiful Erlangen, Germany, and you are watching Made on Backstage.
First of all, congratulations on this anniversary tour, 25 years. It's quite the achievement. And how does it make you feel knowing that it is actually a quarter of a century already?
Yeah, but we're still not that old. How that achievement may seem to be. Of course, it's a great honor. Like 25 years in one band, 20 more than 20 years with the same lineup. I'm really glad what we have achieved until right now, and especially this tour is going wonderful. We have I think it's 1 or 2 shows that are not sold out, and everything else is completely sold out. So actually, we're quite happy. Yes.
To accompany this tour, you released Monuments. Putting together a track list for a compilation like this is going to satisfy some fans and disappoint others. You were always unanimous while choosing songs for it, or were there some fights between you?
No, not really. I mean, doing a best of is like creating a set list for a show. There will always be people who miss out on certain songs and would prefer to hear other ones, but we always do what we feel is right. It's the same with the set list tonight. We haven't changed one single song since we started the tour, because we just think that set list just works perfectly, and the reactions is so great. So actually, there's everybody has different favorite songs, but there are a few songs that we have to put on a best of, like I don't know, Vainglory Opera or King of Fools, Lavatory Love Machine, the things we also play every evening. And I'm actually pretty happy that we made it to pack a lot of songs from EPs on the best of, like Holy Water, Spooks in the Attic, those because they are sometimes they are seen to be B-class songs, which in our case was never like that. We have always written songs for the album and then put the decision whether on CD or on the EP.
And you also recorded 5 new songs.
Yes. For
the compilation, and you put them at the beginning of the CD, which makes it not a typical best-of compilation. Why did you decide to do it like this?
Well, actually, the idea was to make like maybe 1 or 2 new songs and to put them on the best of. But we ended up having 5 songs at the end, so the flow was pretty good. And yeah, it's the most interesting part is the new stuff. I mean, the best of is cool, but our fans already know the songs, and they are really looking forward to hear the new stuff, and it's also a sign for the future.
You co-founded Edguy with Tobias in 1992 in a small town, Fulda.
Yeah.
What kind of place was it in the time when you started?
Well, it was not a fashionable place for heavy metal. I mean, it was 92, it was the high times of grunge era. Bands like Nirvana were really great, and nobody was really interested in traditional power metal. But we found each other, Toby and myself, and we realized that we have the same musical taste, and pretty soon the idea came up that it would be cool to have our own band, and that's how this whole thing started. It was totally very hard at the beginning, because nobody was interested in this kind of music, and we were 14 years old, so we had some steps to take, but turned out that we ended up in a pretty nice tour bus, so we must have done something right.
We were teenagers when you started.
Yeah.
Can you say what played a bigger role? Was it more of a hard work, blindly believing in your vision, or also happy coincidence that brought you so far?
It's a mixture of everything. I mean, looking back, there have been a lot of moments, like really small pieces, small happenings that had a very big effort on our career. Like, for example, when Toby and me have been to a music fair in Cologne in Germany, we asked randomly some long-haired guy at the railway station if he would know the way to the music fair, and it turned out that he had a record company, and it was our later label boss, Andy Allendorfer. As well as I remember our first rehearsal that we did. We were covering songs from AC/DC and Kiss, and we didn't decide yet who's going to be the singer of the band. And then we wanted to play Highway to Hell, and our drummer didn't want to sing, and for Dirk and me it was not possible to play the guitar riff and sing. So we had, okay, Toby, you have to be the singer, we can do it. small pieces that really had a big effort.
So do you remember what it was like to you to hold for the first time the physical copy of Savage Poetry, or your first live shows?
All the first timers have been great. I mean, of course, it's a great moment when you have your first self-recorded demo tape, and it's even a better feeling when you have your first official released CD. Back then in 3 countries, I think it was released, and it always feels good to start something new.
It's also fun to watch all the archival photos in the booklet for Monuments. They must bring a lot of memories, but they also show the way that you go through as a band. When you look at these photos, you have thoughts like, this photo reminds me of this and this and this.
Exactly, yeah, that's exactly the way it is. You look at the pictures and you immediately have tons of stories in mind, what happened back then at the time when this picture was taken, and that was the exciting part of getting all the material together, because there are so many stories came up, and it was really like a journey throughout the last 25 of our history. That was on our first headlining tour, and we were also recording our first live album with this picture back in Paris. And the funny thing about this picture, I don't know if anybody realized it, but our drum technician sneaked into the cover artwork. You can see him right here. It was 2 or 3 shows, I remember, with a band called Skyclad. And 97, I remember we just wrote our exams in school and ride from school into the bus and on the road. It was very exciting times.
What turned out to be different about music business compared to your initial expectations from the times you were starting?
Changed completely. I mean, back then there were just a few bands who were doing this kind of music, and they were selling albums, and they made their living out of selling albums, and being on the road was just something on top, and to present the album. Now it's the other way around. Bands have to record albums in order to have a reason to go on tour again, because with record sales you cannot make your living in this size. You have to be like really superstars to be okay with that. But the problem is that since everybody is always on tour, there's too many concerts, and fans just can't afford to go on a show every week, and it's becoming more and more tricky to.
Do you think your history would turn out the same if you start the band, for example, right now in this time?
No. I don't know, but times are totally different. It's been 25 years in between that, and so many things have changed. I mean, just have a look at the development of the internet, which wasn't existing. Mobile phones haven't been existing when we started the band. All that technical stuff wasn't just there. So
everything was sent by regular mail.
Yeah, by mail, not even by email, by mail, with letters, and I mean, it's got its pros and cons. I mean, through the internet, it's quite easy for a band to promote themselves, but on the other hand, there's so many bands promoting themselves that it's hard to keep the overview.
And the last question that I always like to ask is, what is your musical guilty pleasure? Something your fans might be surprised that you like to listen in your free time?
To listen in my free time? No, I'm not ashamed of anything. A lot of kids' music, then yes, but it has to do since I have kids. But I'm not ashamed of everything. I can stand behind everything that I'm listening to. I'm okay with everything. I don't have any bad CDs in my collection. Of course. Yeah, if you nowadays listen to some stuff that you have bought 20 years ago, you sometimes think, I don't know if I would buy it today again, but it's all part of history.
Like, for example, what?
I don't know, many 80s hard rock bands. They were like Poison. I don't know if I would buy a Poison album nowadays. But on the other hand, it's good to know all these things.